Happy Black Friday! Woohoo! Are you out in this mess? I just went to Waffle House and hung out with some of my buds and started my Black Friday here while everyone else is doing shopping stuff and, of course, doing the online thing, I guess, is the way to go. But we're going to have a fantastic weekend Friday. Got the Iron Bowl coming up. A whole slew of basketball games yesterday. Of course, I don't know if you watched the Egg Bowl last night. Jeez, dude. I remember when I was 12 years old, so this is 1978, and I was asking Santa Claus. I still believe in Santa Claus when I was 12. I was like 14 before I stopped believing in Santa Claus. I still believe in Santa Claus, the spiritual Santa Claus. And I asked my mom and dad in Santa Claus for a 10-speed, right? And I knew I was getting this 10-speed. I'd been a good boy. I worked real hard. I had good grades. I just knew I was getting a 10-speed. And then all of a sudden, Santa Claus comes, and there's no 10-speed. And I was like, and I'm imagining that's how Auburn is feeling this morning because they're waiting for this big announcement about Lane Kiffin going to be your new head coach, and now it appears he's not going to be coming. So I tweeted out last night, be careful what you wish for. I know Lane. I like Lane. He follows me on Twitter. He followed me when I was doing the Jocks 94.5 thing. But the Lane Kiffin situation is kind of like spending all your money on the best-looking woman in the room and finding out she may have herpes. Lane Kiffin is a good coach. He's got 10 full college football seasons under his belt. He averages 8 wins and 4 losses. And in league play, he's a 5-3 guy. And Auburn, I think, I'm not saying they're desperate, but I think they were so excited about thinking they were going to be getting not only a Lane Kiffin guy that obviously was an OC at Alabama, which was kind of a moment. The guy has won multiple games or double-digit games 4 times in his career, and that used to be really, really special. When you were a 10-win coach, you had something special. Well, hell, now they're playing 14 games a year. So winning 10 games is not great. And, of course, one of those years was last year. He had one of those years at USC. And then, of course, he won a couple of he had an 11-win season at FAU. But it was FAU. You're not playing SEC teams. You're playing Conference USA teams. It's just a different thing. And so for some reason, I think that when you really get excited about something that's going to happen, you start building it up to the point where it's much bigger than it actually is. And while I think Lane Kiffin would be a good hire at Auburn, I don't think that you need to be so desperate and to make him a top 3 or top 4 paid guy when he really hasn't proven squat. The guy's, like 2-3 in bowl games? I mean, seriously, I think he's a good coach. Is he going to win a national title at Auburn? No. And the thing is after last season, and I asked Jimbo Fisher about this, after last season, everyone thought that this was going to be the year where he was going to take Ole Miss. And, of course, they started the season undefeated. I think they started 6-0. He's lost 4 of his last 5 games. He lost to Arkansas. He lost to LSU. He lost to Mississippi State. It's 3 teams that Auburn lost to. So I'm like, is this the guy you want to bring in? I'm just saying, I know it's 1 year, but for people down there in the plains that thought Lane Kiffin's going to come in and win in 3 years, they're going to be beating Alabama every year and winning 12 games. I don't see it happening. I really don't. I'm not saying it would not be a good hire, but just tap the brakes a little bit. And obviously, and I tweeted out the other night, if you don't give him total autonomy and let Lane Kiffin do what he wants to do, you're going to be giving him another buyout in 3 years. And if you're talking about $11-12 million a year, do you want to go through that crap again? Maybe you should look a little smaller. Maybe a Hugh Freeze hire is not such a bad hire. Maybe Carnell is the guy. Maybe keep it in-house and see if you can grow that way. But I'm just telling you, man, you're putting all your eggs in one basket with Lane Kiffin, and obviously it doesn't look like he's going to be coming anyway. I just think it's really, really interesting. I think I'm telling you, back in high school there was this girl, I can't remember, and her name was Jeannie. Jeannie, I'll never forget Jeannie. And Jeannie was one of the lassies. We called them lassies. I was in the band, and she was a lassie, and she was the one that was holding the flags and stuff, right? And Jeannie was rocking. And I think I was a sophomore or junior in the band. And someone in the saxophone section, I played trumpet, told me that they thought Jeannie had a crush on me, and I was a dork. I mean, I didn't get laid till I was like 22. I mean, I was a total dork, and I was like, whatever. So I started kind of looking at Jeannie, and Jeannie was so far out of my league. I mean, so far out of my league. I mean, she was like the prom queen. She was beautiful. She was blonde. She was rocking. And I'm this skinny little 6'2", 170-pound geek in radio playing a trumpet. I mean, so come to find out that Jeannie did have this thing for me for whatever reason. I don't know why. And so I started building up in my brain about just how wonderful this relationship was going to be, and that I was going to be going out with one of the best women at Lakota High School, and that she was smart, and she was super athletic, and I was going to be the man. I was all excited about this stuff. And so finally, we went up to Lima, Ohio, which is where there's Lima. I forget the name of the mascot, Lima, but this is one of the teams we play. It's like a 3-hour bus drive, right? And so we're in the band. She's in there, and the football team took her to the bus. And we're going up there, and we have like a 3-hour drive. And we get up there, do our thing. We're coming back, and there's a seat next to Jeannie on the bus on the way back, and it's like midnight, right? Because it's after a Friday night football game. And I'm sitting next to Jeannie, and she grabs my hand, and next thing you know, I cannot believe that I'm with this girl. I mean, she is like beautiful. I mean, best looking thing you could ever imagine in high school. And I think she was 2 years older than I was. I think she was a senior and I was a sophomore. Maybe she was a junior and I don't know, but she was older than I was. And I was like freaking out. I could not believe I was even sitting next to this girl. And of course, everyone on the bus knew it, and everyone's looking over their shoulder, and it's 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. People are like, what's going on? And nothing happened. But come to find out, after our ride back, and then we went to a movie or something a couple times, just nothing there, man. I mean, nothing against Jeannie, but we just had nothing in common. She was beautiful, but looks only get you so far. But my point is, I built this thing up in my head that it was going to be like I was marrying this woman as soon as I got out of high school. I mean, she was beautiful. I'm like, even she's an idiot. I mean, she's so beautiful. And come to find out, I built this thing up in my head so big, it just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then when I finally met with her, I was kind of like, and then I turned out to be the jerk because I ended up breaking up or pushing off one of the most attractive women in high school. My point being is sometimes when you set your sights on something like a Lane Kiffin or a coach and you think you're going to get him, and you think, I mean, this is a coach that a lot of people thought was going to have Ole Miss on the cusp of winning a national title, certainly when we go to 12 teams, the 12-team playoff in 2026, maybe. But the guy lost 4 games this year. He's 8-4. I'm not saying it's bad, but he's an 8-4 coach. He lost to 3 of the same teams that Auburn lost to. And you want to bring this guy? I don't get it. I don't get it. And if you're an Ole Miss fan and you're sitting there at home in the Egg Bowl last night, I don't know where the running game was. They lost 4 of their last 5 games. I mean, just talk about a team that everyone was so excited about 6 weeks in. They're like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is where Ole Miss is going to start playing with the big boys. They're 8-4. They lost to Arkansas. They lost to Mississippi State. I love Mike Leach. He's a friend of mine. I'm so happy for him. But they lost to Mississippi State on their home during the Egg Bowl. And this is a guy you want to bring in, just tap the brakes a little bit, all right? Be careful what you wish for. That's all I'm going to say. I hope you have a fantastic Black Friday. I hope you get after it. Enjoy your wonderful weekend. I cannot wait. I'm looking forward to taking my son up to Tennessee. I'm going to Nashville on Sunday to check out the Titans and my Cincinnati Bengals. Man, anytime I get a chance to go watch a sporting event, really I do anything with my son. But anytime I get a chance to take Santo and go to a major sporting event, it's just a special weekend. So I hope you got special things for the weekend. Continue to be thankful for everything you got. Hopefully you're off work today and you can chill out, watch some football, get ready for the Iron Bowl tomorrow. It's going to be a great weekend. I love you. Make sure you check out my good friend Al Cooper, who is up. I think he's the only one watching this morning. Coosa Valley Auto Sales is open, baby, 10 to 5. But I'll bet if you get up there a little early, he'll be kicking back with his feet on his desk, drinking a cup of coffee. CoosaValleyAutoSales.com, CoosaValleyAutoSale.com. Check out my good friend Al Cooper up this morning. And check out all of our great clients. Budweiser. I know a lot of people partook in some Budweiser over the last few days. They'll do it again this weekend, getting ready for the tailgate parties and stuff. John Gray from Driscoll Gray. The Woodhouse Day Spa. A lot of people are going to need some spa treatment after this particular Thanksgiving. I got news for you. Stuart Rome, Birmingham.WoodhouseSpas.com, Birmingham.WoodhouseSpas.com. Our good friends down there at the Montgomery Food Bank, the Jimmy Hale Mission, a big part of it. Southern Precision Staffing, who brought us, of course, our Live Wire Wednesday show on Wednesday. I could go on and on and on. Thanks to Tommy Williams down at Workplay. Fantastic job. Check out workplay.com. All of our great sponsors. We're going to get after it, continue to do it. Make sure you listen to our shows and download that TKR app. And, of course, the Tony Kurre Radio Podcast. Have a great Friday. I love you. Have a great weekend.